I'm gonna wish I took off these waders.
Nope, leave them on. You're committed now, bro.
We are committed.
Somebody drop that track. Go! This is definitely an interesting view compared to the kitchen table.
It's not our typical setup.
There's not a giant light.
Grab your shotgun and put that on the ducks.
Hold, please.
Don't go too far, though. Just don't point it straight at the camera. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Sure. We got a shotgun.
Hey, welcome back to the Okayest Cook podcast. Chris Whonsetler coming at you live from the pond with Andy Heiser.
What up?
We just had an adventure.
Sure did.
We did.
There's
we are
feathers flying literally everywhere currently.
Yes, we were out duck hunting. Goose.
Duck, goose, whatever.
We were waterfowling.
Waterfowling.
Chasing all the water birds.
Which I'm very new to, so I'm just here to typically carry things.
Yeah.
I like to go out in the kayak.
Andy's the muscle and the retriever of things.
It's fun. But it was a good time.
Yeah, great time. Yeah, I had a few buddies here at the pond, family pond, and we had exactly one flock of geese do it exactly.
That's crow.
Right.
Crow.
Yeah, it's a crow. I mean, these geese just like, it was textbook. If we had to draw up a plan,
It was literally what Mitch
that we
said
wanted the birds to do, like that's what they did. The ducks, on the other hand,
a little more hesitant.
they didn't want to play.
Yeah. I feel like I might be a little shinier than you guys is probably a little bit of the issue, but
Nah.
not going to blame me. I'm going to blame
We're having a Sitka versus First Light conversation
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Nah, in the timber, I think it all looks good. I think our hide was good. The birds
Yes.
came in from behind us,
Yes.
and the ducks, like literally just like silent as can be, as ducks do, literally just like feet above our heads, just plopped down into the water. Like none of us were ready. We were all jibber jabbing, chit chatting.
Yeah, we were talking food too.
Yeah, we're talking food. Talking about an interesting topic that we'll discuss later on.
Yeah.
What are they called again?
Ayakas.
Ayakas. Yeah. So coming at you
Yeah.
in a future episode. Some ayakas.
Yes.
Yeah, we're talking about that, and these ducks just appeared and vanished before we could even do anything about it.
Yeah.
So-
Calvin says he saw them, but that's what
Yeah,
Calvin
we'll
is
see about that.
also 9. So
Super fun having a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
in the blind with us, aka the blind, the trees.
The trees,
in the timber.
Yeah.
That was a fun hunt.
Yeah.
Had a
it was
blast.
Good time. It was a good time.
Yes, we broke down the birds. We're sitting here at the shore. Like the pond is, if you're watching on YouTube, the pond is literally behind us. Like you can see where we shot these birds. You might see some feathers floating around because we processed them. You know, we took the breast, we took the thighs. The internal organs on mine were a little scrambled.
a little frazzled.
So we did not take liver and gizzard, unfortunately. But
No, it was
that
a good one.
happens. That happens.
This was my first legitimate, like I shot that bird out of the sky. Like that was definitely, without a doubt, one that I shot, as opposed to the last time I got a goose. I had teamwork on that one. I'm sure that I was just spraying shotgun shells in the air while Mitch and Chris actually shot the bird. But it was still a good time.
Yeah.
But no, it was
totally
awesome.
not sponsored, but 100% recommended. The shot cam.
Yes.
That I have on my camera this year. Absolutely love that camera. Because you can see exactly what birds you did or did not hit.
There's proof.
But more importantly, for me, I can see how I'm missing.
Yeah.
So in the past, like I knew, okay, I shot at this bird. It did not fall. It kept on flying. I missed.
But
how did I miss?
in front of, behind,
Turns out I'm not leading them enough. So when I'm aiming like at the bird.
Yeah.
So shooting at where it currently is instead of where it's going to be when the pellets get there.
Got to lead your receiver just like a football.
Exactly. And I've not been doing that in the shot cam. It told me exactly what I was doing wrong. So,
But today you got to see a fun one too, where you got to see you shoot a bird that was just shot underneath.
As we just mentioned, the insides of one of our geese. One of our geese was it was a bit scrambled. Shot cam footage revealed that literally a millisecond before I pulled the trigger, the goose like flinched because someone else shot him.
Yes.
So he got double tapped real hard.
He did.
Like all in the breast. So
that one's going to be jerky.
That will be jerky if we can salvage some of it.
Yes. But it was a good time. So normal protocol here, food.
Notable meals. Yeah. What did we eat?
Can we talk about? I mean, we just kind of teamwork.
We just had a meal. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. I feel like it's good use of this time too. So
yeah, we can tag team. We can use this
because we both had it
meal
together.
of the week.
You made it. I had it for the first time, so that was also good.
Yeah.
Good solid play on an everybody's favorite.
Goose.
Well, I was just gonna say more biscuits and gravy.
Oh yeah.
You know. So you want to talk more about what it is?
We made some B's and G's, biscuits and gravy. Did kind of a classic gravy with pulled goose legs instead of like a traditional pork sausage.
Yes.
Which turned out spectacular.
Which, for somebody who has issues with pork, I rarely get B&G anymore.
Yeah.
In the rare times that I have friends that'll make it with like turkey sausage, I can partake, but
it's still not the same.
It's not the same.
Like you need that pork fat, that greasy.
And you said that there were a couple strips of bacon in there, so we'll see if I make it through the podcast or not. But
if you see Andy scurry into the woods,
if I just set my mic down and leave, it's okay.
It's because I fed him pork. Only a couple strips of bacon.
No, but it was an interesting texture of being shredded versus like your traditional clumps of sausage. But phenomenal flavor, great over the biscuit. I mean, obvious. I also truly think though, when you make something homemade that you got out of this, you got it out of the sky. You literally made it on the back of your tailgate after an awesome day with
reheated it on the back of the tailgate.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Reheated it here. But still, I mean, it was what an awesome meal and an awesome opportunity to taste something that for a good, like I said, a classic dish with a kind of a new twist,
a new wild spin.
Yeah,
and it was made with goose legs. So of all the parts of the geese, outside of the awful internal organs, the legs are something that's left in the field more often than not, and it's a lot of meat.
Yeah,
I didn't weigh these, but so 4 goose legs went into this biscuits and gravy, and I mean it's a good sized tub.
Yeah,
but I mean at least a full pound of meat, if not
easy
pound and a half,
and especially when you're looking at like percentage ratio even to the breasts. I mean it's a solid percentage that gets left in the woods a lot. So know what you're doing.
We'll talk about the recipe at the end of the episode, but 100%.
This was in it.
Yes, this was in it. The waterfowl blend by Harvesting Nature. Justin Adams, some solid guys.
Friend of the podcast.
Yes, absolutely. Sent us these spices to try out, and it worked in the sausage. Good. So the waterfowl blend, chili powder, onion, garlic, lemon, and other spices. But in biscuits and gravy, like top tier. I wouldn't call it spicy.
No,
but it had like just the littlest kick.
Yeah,
the littlest little kick.
It's like a better play on just salt and
chili powder, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, first thing, chili powder. Yep. So a good healthy amount of chili powder.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah, totally recommend. It was awesome.
Definitely a notable meal. So it was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like topics and timing and everything, it's been like this is like we're filming this in between the Christmas and the New Year time frame. But again, this has been a lot of time I think with friends and family and cooking, and I actually got to do something that's kind of fun that I wanted to talk about on Christmas, kind of a new Christmas tradition. My Christmas this year is different than it has been in years past, which has been fine. It's been very fun finding new traditions to make, and one of them that was really fun as it relates to this podcast is my dad actually works for TSA, and he unfortunately had to work on Christmas. It's just how the schedule broke down this year. So my mom kind of just didn't have anything to do. So I was like, well, why don't you come over? My brother was at his in-laws, and they were going to be swinging back through on the way back down. So like, why don't we just come over and like, we'll just cook something. I was like, we'll just cook something. And I went with my classic Hank Shaw chili, but I went with 2 pounds of venison, 1 pound of ground beef with I had family there, so it wasn't as wild as it normally can be. But it did have 2 pounds of venison from Texas too. So it was the Texas venison, and actually the ground beef was from the steer that I got off the ranch in Texas too. So that was pretty cool too. But it was fun, man.
Did it have beans?
It did have beans.
So not a true
Texas chili, but it did have beans. However, it was fun though. I kind of put my brother on veggie prep. I did the meat. I had my mom handle the dry spices and get all the other stuff together, and it was just a really good time. Kind of again making something like I did the Dutch oven on my gas stove too, which was really fun to just kind of do it all in one pot too together. So it was a lot of fun. So it was kind of
what's good like camaraderie, like just
Well, we talk about commensaliity
time,
on the show a lot about eating together, but also kind of cooking together you get a little bit of that too. Like
100%.
I feel like everyone liked the chili a lot more because they all had a kind of a part in it.
Yeah.
So, if
you can't complain about the dish if
correct.
you had a hand.
If you don't like the peppers and onions in it, hey, shouldn't have.
It's on you.
It's on you.
But 100%. Like that's what A Couple Cooks is all about. So if you go back to our A Couple Cooks episode, don't know the number. But their big thing is like cook together, and just build that relationship.
Yeah. It was fun, man. It was a lot of fun to again, especially when they were like looking to me for like guidance on this.
Yes.
Like, I don't really know what I'm doing.
You're
either,
the
guys.
expert now.
I know I'm the resident expert in my household now.
Yeah.
No, it was a really good time. Chili turned out really good. Got a little. You'd like it. It's a little hot. Got a little kick to it. But yeah, no, it was a good time. It was definitely a fun way to change up the holidays a little bit, but do something that was more than just sitting around and watching a football game and eating.
That's cool.
Just charcuterie. We did that too. But
dude, I had so much charcuterie this year.
Well, between
I'm so bloated, all that salt and all that like Insecure whatever number 1 or 2.
Yeah. Oh man, but hey, nothing beats a good charcuterie board.
Dude, it's so good.
We are Lunchable kids. I would assume, right? You were a Lunchable.
It's adult Lunchables.
It's adult Lunchables.
100%.
So we're just way to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, so far my holiday season has been extremely hands off.
Yes.
Which
that's right.
Is very nice on one hand, but kind of frustrating on the other. So like I had some ribs that were good. My dad cooked them, and he was kind of complaining like, hey, like these aren't the way I want them to be. Just timing.
Right.
It's
a lot. Yeah.
Tons of family coming over. So like they weren't quite perfect. They were good. Thanksgiving with my in-laws in Arizona. Like, they're not big food people. So
you were fretting about that a little bit.
I was frightened about that. It turned out okay. Better than I thought.
Yeah.
But not ideal in a perfect Chris food world.
No.
And then Christmas, I'm kind of blanking on what like I had for Christmas dinner.
I had chili, so
yeah. I'm gonna have
and mac and cheese. My mom made
I'm gonna have to dig through the record books here.
Macaroni and cheese, chili, and peanut butter pie.
Yeah, it wasn't substantial. But.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's been an interesting year all the way around for everybody. But it's fun to. I also find it like semi challenging to try to cook in other places too, especially if you do a lot of traveling at all or Airbnb and that sort of thing, like having to cook in other people's kitchens.
Yeah, or in front of a pond.
Or in front of a pond on a burner. Which, by the way, that thing heated up really well.
Dude, yeah.
Hats off to cast iron. Again, if you don't have cast iron skillet.
Yeah, cast iron. I was looking for a Coleman, but apparently Cabela's doesn't sell Coleman stoves. So I got the Cabela's brand.
It's all right.
Coleman portable stove.
It's your Bass Pro Shop?
Yep, put out some heat.
Yeah, it did fine.
Yeah, did a great job.
That thing was started. I heard it. I heard it a lot sooner than I thought it was going to. Too. It was going.
It was nice. Yeah, it's a good. I don't own one of these obviously until this experience, and like I've wanted one for a while. So good Christmas money spent. I think I'll use it.
Absolutely.
If it gets more meals like out in the blind, like because 100% like eating at the end of a hunt, like right at the end of a hunt.
Yeah,
you're kind of tired and sweaty.
Well, and I also it's a lot of work to get stuff in and out. Like the thing that I think it's a big part of the hunt too. That oftentimes people who, especially we're a cooking podcast, but at the same time we are big hunters, and those that don't hunt, it's not just about sitting in the woods shooting guns in the air. Like a lot of it is like a lot of work and going into getting the stuff, our space figured out, who's where, and then Chris setting the decoys out, and it's an art to all of it, and then you have to clean the whole thing up. But it can be a much bigger project. But all of those I think go into the part of hunting too. That's kind of fun as well. Like it just even going out and retrieving with the kayak is fun for me. So a chance to go out in the water when you're not supposed to because it's cold is a lot of fun. So, but
Heck yeah.
I mean, so this has been a roundup year as far as food goes. I will say, now that we're nearing towards the end of the calendar year, not full year for us as a podcast, but almost. But I feel like my confidence in the kitchen has just increased quite a bit.
Yeah, 100%.
I noticed it when I was cooking the chili, and I was like, I know the recipe already in my head of what I'm going to do, but I didn't have some of the things, and around Christmas time, grocery stores aren't all open. So I was like, but I got enough stuff, and I can make it happen. I can make this happen.
Right.
And it was a lot of. I mean, it was just. I feel like that's been my big takeaway this year in general with cooking. Whether it's again being able to do this is kind of it could be a little scary if you've never done something like this before. But I feel like again, not gonna we've done a lot of preparation into the actual meal itself. You're just really warming stuff up. It'll be fine. That confidence level and just being able to know how to cook, and our time with Alan on understanding.
Dude, that was huge.
How to fix things, how to balance things out has been huge as well.
Yeah. Alan's episode, and then Justin. Yeah, the Harvesting Nature
and then Alan
Sternberg.
Alan Sternberg with Bluebeard. Right. Yeah. Bluebeard down in.
Dude, I've been using his vinegar tip a lot.
I was just about to say I literally fixed
so much.
Fixed like 2 other dishes since I've had at least 3 saves due to Alan's vinegar trick. So
yeah.
And speaking
a couple for me, not even saves, just like I think some vinegar would be good in this.
Let's try this.
And it was awesome.
And
you'll see.
It brightens up a little bit. I added a little bit in the chili. And it brightens things up quite a bit, and it's man.
No wine this time.
I used wine as well.
Okay,
I had wine in there. Already,
there you go.
But I was like, I want a little bit more.
Get that acid.
And I got it up to where I wanted it to be. But it was really solid. Excited. I need to actually touch base with him anyway because I have some shanks that I got back from that.
Nice.
I ended up taking. So my Texas hunt, the buddy I was hunting with didn't want his shanks, so he's not going to cook them. So I took them. I know. Well, I'm not going to let them go to waste. They're home, so I got shanks for days at my house. So I'm going to try to hook him up with some stuff just to have anything, just some good content for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love seeing what they're doing.
Yeah, dude, that place is solid.
They had some urchins. Urchins on their Instagram feed. I'm real excited to see what he does with that.
Oh, man.
I'd eat some urchins.
Yeah, I'll try it. But yeah, I got so extension of Christmas dinner tonight. So since Dad is out, pretty excited about tonight as well, food wise. Going to a restaurant called Root and Bone.
Oh yeah,
it's another Indianapolis favorite. If you've been in this area at all, it's really solid. But yeah, excited to. And they've got a lot of good home cooking, and got another interesting chef type of setup there too. So
nice.
But it's a chance since Dad wasn't able to make it for Christmas, we're gonna do that tonight too. So
yeah, let's go.
Get all sorts of. Today's gonna be a fun day of I started my day at 4 a.m. coffee and a banana.
Yo,
to tailgate.
We had a little pastrami out in
the
field,
and I'll end at a nice dinner. So it'll be fun. But
the gut is feeling it.
Oh yeah, between that and then just the traveling around and doing stuff, I am.
Yeah.
Whew.
Dude, we just got the leftovers going on in our house, just a bunch of hodgepodgey stuff. So,
what do you guys? Maybe that's your cue. What did you? What were leftovers you've been having? Maybe that remind you of what you had for Christmas.
Oh man, I mean, right now it's just a lot of Mexican food. So my mother-in-law and brother-in-law are in town visiting, and again, my wife's side of the family love them, but they're not big eaters. But Mexican food is it always works.
Gotcha.
So we've had Mexican at least twice.
Steph makes a mean enchilada, if I remember correctly. So
yeah. So we got a lot of that in the fridge. A lot of my stuff. So a lot of chutney type things, and just some steaks. I don't know what I'm going to do with maybe fajitas. Again, more Mexican.
Right, more Mexican. Yeah.
What do you do with leftover? What do you guys do with leftover steak?
Yeah, fajitas.
I do fajitas.
It's also solid. Chop that up and do my dirty rice trick.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, just
we got rice.
Chop it up, throw it in rice. It's a good meal. It's not you're not gonna woo anybody with it, but you're gonna fill some tummies and feel good and get moving. I actually so I talked about brother-in-law Frank quite a bit on this show, but his birthday was also around Christmas as well. So I saw him for lunch the other day, and I was pretty excited about giving him just a massive T-bone off of that steer from Texas.
Nice. That's gonna be good.
So he is pumped about that, and so we were talking about different ways of prepping that too. And believe it or not, of all the things that man has done, he's never done just a sear in a cast iron and then put it in the oven.
I haven't done it either yet. Another Chef Allen tip that I need to try.
Yeah.
The gentle heat.
Heat her up, and then finish it in the get a nice sear, and then finish it in the oven.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited for him to try that, because I think he's gonna nail that. He's dabbling between that and just doing another sous vide type of scenario, because that's also a huge winner with a giant piece of meat like that.
Yeah.
A lot of butter, a lot of garlic, some rosemary, salt, pepper. Put that in the bag. Let it get up to temperature.
Yeah. What is it inch and a half thick, maybe.
Easy. Like it's thick. I mean, it is like it could. I mean, honestly, most people would probably cut it in half.
Oh, jeez.
And it'd be two separate.
Well, that's one thing that I bought a cow this year.
That's right.
We've talked about.
Yeah.
Or I think it's a quarter of a cow technically. We split it with a few people.
Yeah.
And the meat we got back just wasn't cut the way I would have done it. Like our T-bones were just maybe like 3/4 of an inch thick, like very, very thin. And I would have loved that.
Oh,
2-inch thick.
I'm
slab.
Texas, baby. I'll tell you what, man. Because we had him down in Texas. When we got the steer. Because again, Nick and his family split a full steer with across 4 or 5 families, maybe. It was 200 pounds easy of meat that came back. And they that came back to Nick's house. So
yeah,
there's 1,000 pounds of plus of meat off of a steer. But man, they do it right. The cuts on every single steak was just massive, and we had a couple of the ribeyes while we were down there. It's just different if you have an opportunity to even just like as you guys did, just get a like going on a quarter of a cow or get a half a cow with a friend and split it. It's just the meat's different than what you get at the store, and Chef Allen
just fresh.
Explained a lot to us about how old some of the stuff is there. So again, it's just one of those things where it's just really cool to play with real ingredients. And also another big one that's happened, like Colton's has some chicken issues. I don't know if you heard about this or not.
He did not share that.
He's had a little egg production situation. He's got it. He's thinking he's getting him back online. But I had to go buy.
Like he didn't have any no critters broke in.
I don't think that. I think it was just they're not producing. So something with
the time of year.
Time of year, something with feed. He had to put more light out there because apparently it gets darker now and they need more sunlight for them to produce eggs. I don't know. I'm not a chicken expert, but he was telling me a little bit about it. But what I am is an egg connoisseur, and I eat a lot of Colton's chicken eggs.
They're so good.
And I've had to go back to the store like a peasant and get regular eggs from the store.
Oh, and they're just runny.
There is
thin.
a difference. They're runny. They're thin. They have a different flavor profile. It's just
pale yellow versus rich golden yolks.
I know.
Man,
it's really rough. These are my current first world problems. But like, boy, I get used to the idea of just the either farm to table or
good eggs,
field to table, good eggs. So
there's
another crow. I'm learning birds, so now I like to look up and I'm like, what is that?
We're hoping some more ducks will fly in here.
That'd be fun.
Any minute.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I remembered some of my leftovers in the fridge. So I did a ham and bean soup that I might talk about on another episode. We'll see. And then I did, my chat with Ricky Folger, she mentioned cassoulet, which is like a bean. It's not a casserole. It's not a soup.
Cassoulet.
It's a cassoulet. But it's a very bean.
It's a runny
heavy,
casserole is what I'm thinking of.
Runny casserole, very thick stew. I followed, air quotes, loosely. It's nothing the same. I read basically the Michael Hunter. Chef Michael Hunter, I think that's his name. He's got the Black Cookbook. He's from Canada. Awesome guy, awesome content. Basically read his recipe and then looked at my fridge and didn't have half the stuff. So I did it my way.
But you have a flavor Bible and you can figure out which way.
I don't have that yet.
I gave Steph one job for Christmas.
It was on my list.
It's in every episode, Steph. Come on.
It's on my list. I didn't get it. She got me a bunch of Legos instead. So I'm a happy guy.
That's fair.
But it turned out awesome.
Nice.
Again, very bean heavy. I used black-eyed peas, which is a bean, not a pea, right?
I don't know. That's the wrong guy.
It's a bean, I think.
Looks like a bean.
It looks like a bean. Tastes like a bean.
About to get crop dusted.
We got a plane, yeah.
Airplane.
So the cassoulet turned out awesome. I used beef on that. I want to say, smoked. I forget what cut. I should know. Chuck roast, I think maybe. Smoked it. And then crock pot for the cassoulet. That turned out really good. But the ham and bean stew, that turned out really good. Super happy with that.
That airplane couldn't go more directly over us.
not too much lower either.
No. That's awesome. No, it's awesome. It's cool, especially reusing your leftovers. And it's a smart way of doing it and making something that's several other meals. And again, like we've talked about this, did you freeze any of it though, or no? Or did it make enough?
Probably should have, but I didn't.
Yeah.
The ham and bean soup I'll probably freeze tonight.
This is my new like
So I'm gonna
go-to
eat the
trick.
cassoulet
If you're
tonight.
making a large dish, because soup is like a cassoulet and whatever, soup is going to be a large amount of food.
Yeah.
And if it's not something you're going to be able to consume, if you're not making it for a group of people, so it's not going to go away. All of it's going to go away. Right out of it being done, I almost always, especially with chili now, always set aside
100%.
half of it. Just put it in the containers it's going to be frozen in, and just freeze it and just set it away. And you do that a couple of weeks in a row, and all of a sudden in your freezer you've got 3 or 4 different options to pull out that next week or what have you. And it doesn't necessarily like I don't go as far as to like separate into separate like meal prep things in the freezer. It's just in one big thing. But I tell you what, man, it's just such a great way, especially in that scenario where you're taking like leftovers, making a new thing, and then if you would have done that right away, you'd be able to extend that meal even further. So that's just one of those things. It's just a habit that once started, it's like I look at it like I just like for my chili from Christmas, I started to like do it, and then I was realizing I was like, I have to feed all these people, and then my brother wanted to take some home.
Oh no!
He did send me a picture actually while we were setting up here. That's who I was texting right before we started. He's a weirdo and puts noodles in his chili.
Oh, he's one of those.
Yeah, he's one of those. And like macaroni noodles.
It's
too.
okay. It's okay. We won't bash too hard. We all got our preferences.
Call it a chili mac now. It's fine. Put enough cheese on it. It's chili mac. It's fine. But that was kind of cool too. That I liked it enough to take it home. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Once any kind of soups and chilies, so easy just to double.
Yeah.
Just double the recipe.
Everything. Mm-hmm.
Save half.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, the bread was a hit too. That was the other thing we made that night too. And we made my beer bread.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And like that one it's a 1.5 of the actual recipe to fill my pan. I just have a big bread pan.
Nice.
So it turned out really well. And again, it was another one of those things that went great with the chili.
100%. Yeah.
And like I had to like fight to keep my own couple slices for after everyone else left. So. But no, it was also another good way to see like again all that food kind of go out and feed multiple meals. So yeah, and now there's a little leftover mac and cheese and chili in the freezer, and that's gonna be my tomorrow.
Yes,
my tomorrow meal.
Dude, surprisingly, I have not done chili yet this
year. Really?
Not at all,
bro.
So I've
done 2.
I've been doing all the other soups, so I need to up my chili game. And
I've not done it.
Make a pot.
I'm not honestly. Chili is the only like air quotes here for those who aren't watching quotes of soup that I actually
really
make.
Dude, we love soups.
I don't know enough about. I need to look into that more. Maybe get into.
We got a butternut squash soup that'll rock. It's so good.
I just feel like I need more like. For me, it's like I forget all the stuff that's in it. So you're like, am I eating? Like, is this enough food for me? Like this thing of soup. But it's actually a really smart way to get your calories in. Sometimes you can get a little overboard depending on what's in the soup. Like it can't always, not all soups are good for you. But
for sure,
it is a good way, especially like butter and squash and things like that. You can get like those soups in there. Like you have you can pack in a lot of protein or a lot of calories, and usually your carbs are going to be in that one.
Yeah. It's got a lot of cashew in it and the squash. And
it's
so
good stuff.
Just textures. You just got to vary the textures. So get some bread or find some protein, some animal protein somewhere.
Yeah, good chicken breast next to a thing of soup is always good.
That'd be good. Mm-hmm. Or like a pheasant. If you ever get your hands on a pheasant, like that'd be super
Is that a
good.
thing we can do out here? Are there pheasants out here? Excuse me, are there pheasants?
If you can, not here.
No.
We find them. You can find them somewhere.
Yeah, go find
Put in tigs somewhere. Go up to Wisconsin for that.
Yeah.
Out west. Go South Dakota.
I mean,
cool.
Yeah. Well, I don't know do we have any others? What are our big, because we have a couple, I know you wanted to keep this one a little shorter, and we still have a recipe to do.
Well, we got to clean up here and
we got to clean up.
Get home for all the family things.
So Christmas stuff. So.
We should probably wrap it up here.
Yes, sir. So let's talk about
the recipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the goose leg biscuits and gravy. We're going to go from memory because I just kind of ad-libbed as I went.
Good.
So, started with the goose legs, Canada goose legs, and soaked them in a saltwater brine just to kind of pull some of that myoglobin-y, bloody off flavors out of it.
Yes. If you've had goose and you didn't like it, I bet you that step was skipped. Yeah. Guaranteed.
Yep. Or if you thought it was greasy, like maybe take the skin off, because I'm not a fan of goose fat and goose skin, so I take it off. Yeah, so brined it overnight to get rid of those flavors. Seared it in some oil, just cast iron pan, just to brown it up, get some texture, some color, caramelize a little bit. Threw that in a crock pot with apple cider vinegar, just a healthy splash. a lot of chicken stock, like basically to cover the legs. And this, the Harvesting Nature waterfowl blend, a good amount of that went in there. Black pepper, and I'm pretty sure that's it. That went into the crock pot.
Yeah.
Yep. Cooked on high for 3-ish hours, basically just until it just started to pull. So very important on the crock pot. You can overcook stuff in a crock pot. You're slow cooking it, low and slow, you can still way overcook it. It's going to dry out, like Chef Allen said. Basically, Chef Allen said, however long you cook something, cut that time in half, and it needs to rest that long. Because when you stop cooking it, it's going to like reabsorb some of that juice that it let out. So I had that in mind. I very consciously thought to myself, hey, I cooked this for 3 hours. Like it should sit here for an hour and a half.
You left it in the crock pot to sit, to cool.
Yep. Turned off the heat. Just let it sit and just let it chill. And then I pulled it off the bones, shredded it. Actually took it to a cutting board and like diced it as fine as I could get it, because I didn't want like long shreddy strands in my biscuits and gravy, just texture. Did like a pretty standard gravy mix, so some milk, some flour, a little bit more chicken stock. Oh, I feel like I'm forgetting something here. Another liquid. I don't think so. Maybe just the milk and chicken stock and flour. Black pepper. Heated that up in the skillet just to activate the flour, make it
gravy.
What do you call it? Thicken it up. Yeah, make it gravy. Added that to my crock pot with the goose, and I did have to thicken that up a little bit more.
Did you drain all the chicken stock and all that out of there?
Nope. Used all it. Yep, just saved all the liquid. Yep,
okay.
Kept it all in there. Bacon is what I was forgetting. I did.
Three strips of bacon.
3 strips of bacon.
Kill me with.
Maybe 1.5 strips. I think it was. I cut the bag in half. I don't know why. So I think it was 3 half strips of bacon. Crisp it up and just diced that up, chucked it in there. Just because why not? Cheat codes.
Yeah. Bacon makes it.
I thought it would make it better.
Yeah.
And I don't think it hurt anything
except Andy's my stomach for later.
Made that gravy and then just canned biscuits. Nothing super fancy.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's been a crazy week, so I opted to buy biscuits versus make my own.
Hey, it's fair. It was fine. They happen
sometimes.
They're really a vessel for the gravy anyway.
Yeah. So all that was at home. Chilled it and just brought it out here. Threw it on the camp stove in a cast iron. Reheated it and it was good.
It was very good.
Yeah,
I can attest.
The perfect meal to. It's not super cold today.
No,
but
unseasonably warm here.
It's a touch nippy.
Yeah.
So
the wind's been going a little bit, and we got wet this morning. It was raining.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Unexpected rain showers soaked us.
Yes. So it was definitely a good end to the hunt.
A nice warm meal at the end of a hunt was very well received.
Absolutely.
It could have gotten better if I got out the eggs I brought and cooked those as well, but we got lazy.
It's all right. I was plucking.
Yeah.
away.
We had goose to break down.
Stuff to put away.
Sorry.
And goose to break down.
Yeah.
But
10 for 10. Highly recommend. Goose leg, biscuits and gravy. It worked.
It did.
I might consider, this is going to be way more labor intensive, but doing like a goose sausage instead of just pulled goose. It's like actually making like spicy sausage. Italian goose sausage.
Can you grind? I guess you could grind goose. Why not?
Yeah. We might ground the breast instead of the legs, but it'd all ground the same. And then it'd have more of that traditional B&G texture, that kind of spicy sausage flavors.
Yeah, maybe that's a good idea.
I think it would work.
Goose too, just to make something else that I could eat more frequently than just that. You know what I mean? Like
100% would work.
My replacement for breakfast sausage would just be like the goose.
Yeah, I mean goose definitely more on the beefy side of the spectrum versus chicken and pork.
That's the only type of sausage I typically get anyway.
It would work.
So,
as long as you got that fat ratio.
Yep. Well, we'll add that back in. No, it'll have to be beef fat again, but yeah. I still have a lot of that beef fat from our processing party.
Sausage party.
Yeah.
The grinding party.
Grinding party.
We did both.
We did.
Brats. We could talk about the brats at some point. Yeah. I've got a lot of that.
Yes,
that'll be a different episode.
Got a lot of that.
We made brats.
Got sausage for days.
Yeah. And down. So.
Cool.
Let's wrap it up. Clean up here and get to more holiday stuff.
Yes, sir. Back at it.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Find us on all the socials. And we're out.
Deuces. Hit the button.
Oh, that was worth it. I'm glad we did that.
Look, it's coming over.
You got to get him right when we stop. Can you hear the geese honking?
There's geese. It's still recording.
Probably the same two that's been giving us the finger all night.
Oh, man, that's funny. Look at that pile of feathers down there.
We'll zoom in here.